So I have another video today that I'm going to be uploading on my channel. It's my second video. So I'm do another vlog of me walking down the street. So on this video, you're gonna hear an honest opinion from a young adult about online dating and about just dating in general, what I really think of it, one of my opinions on it, and just thinking about my opinions on just people nowadays. In this generation, like in the year in the 20s, and you know, we got out of the 2010s, now we're in the 2020s, right? So I've done a little bit of research on online dating, and a lot of the online dating apps, especially like Tinder. I'm gonna use Tinder as an example. Basically, when you're on Tinder, I hate to say it, but you're really less likely to get a match if you are a guy than a girl. If you're a male, you're gonna get a lot less matches than you are if you were a female. So your chances of even getting a match on Tinder are pretty slim to none. And even if you get that match, I mean, you know, it might go to other places like other apps like Snapchat. You might start talking on there, and you might start a streak with them on Snapchat, right? Or, you know, you might hit them up on Snapchat, might talk a little bit and get blocked. You don't know what's gonna happen. So, you know, on like Tinder and these dating apps, I mean, what I've really gotten from it, you know, from my research and looking on it for a little while, you know, you're talking in like a chat text box. You're not talking to them face to face like a human being does. And I feel like that's what is a really big problem nowadays. I feel like a lot of people are just on their phones and are just on social media, and they really just go on their phones, you know, wherever they're at with social settings and whatnot, and that's okay. But I just feel like in long term it kind of can affect you, and can just, some people are just on their phone way too much, and I feel like people's social skills are going down because of it. And back to Tinder, and that's not good. And then when you're on Tinder, texting all these people, all these girls, especially if you're a guy, all these girls that are even on Tinder don't even really go on that much. Yeah, there's some people, but out of the millions and millions of accounts that are on there, you know, how many people are really looking for like a real relationship on Tinder? Because look, I'm a human being. I mean, I'm a 19-year-old male. I've been around and I see how girls are. Right? I'm only 19. Okay, it's always what they want at the end of the day. I mean, if you really think about it, how things really work and how relationships really do work. I mean, like a guy, to be honest, would probably say yes to probably more girls that ask him, but that doesn't really happen. It's always a guy most of the time. Then like a girl will get asked out by a bunch of guys, you would probably say no most of the time, unless they really wanted that guy. And then for like a guy, it'd be a little bit different, I think, because usually it's harder for guys to get girls than it is for girls to get guys. That's always just how it's worked. But you know, because you got to be for men, you're more masculine and you're supposed to be, and you're supposed to be the top dog, you know, the alpha omega, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you're just like on Tinder, you're just talking in a text chat box. It's not gonna go anywhere most of the time. I mean, I've done my studies, and like, yeah, I've heard of one person. I know one person, I think, that has ever met anybody on a Tinder app, and I just think they just slammed, and basically they had a one night stand, and that was it. I tried to rhyme the word slammed and crammed. That would not. Slammed and crammed. That would not work. But I'm trying to make this video serious. Sorry about that, guys. But I'm just saying, basically what I'm trying to say is that don't really try online dating, because you're only going to get let down at the end of the day. You're only going to, because what I was trying to say, I didn't really get into. Everything is emotional. Everything goes off emotion and how you feel every day. Of course, obviously. But if it was true love and whatnot, you would have feelings for that person, right? But if you're sliding the fucking Tinder pics, I mean, you're not gonna get the same kind of feeling that you would if you were out, like, if you're out in real life, you know, seeing that person. And not even just that, man, you're just seeing what they're really about, how they act, you know. I mean, how they act, what they actually truly look like without makeup, right? Really what their goals are in life. Yeah, they can share some of the stuff on there, and that's what it's for. But it's just, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's becoming, I think, social skills going down little by little by little. Like every year or so, every couple years, it's going to little by little, you know. And it's harder, especially with this coronavirus and everything's fucking this shit all up. Crazy. They're blowing this whole thing out of proportion, man. I don't really want to get into that. Maybe in another video. But what I'm saying is, these apps like Tinder, Facebook dating, Bumble, yeah, rare, you know, maybe if you're on that shit a couple hours a day, getting mad, you never are going to get matches. I mean, especially if you're swiping right on every person, or most people. But it's probably more or less not going to go anywhere, you know. It's just not going to, man. And it sucks, bro, but it's the truth. And it shit was pissing me off before, but man, and it's not even your fault, bro. It's not even your fault. You can't be thinking like that. Like, it's not your fault. Like, it's just not your fault. And you understand, it's just, you're only, you know, a human being. You're only one person. You only can do so much. And I was like, damn. I'm like, maybe I need to make more money. Maybe do this and that. I mean, obviously, but I would always just stress about these certain things. Like, oh, maybe they would like me more if I did this or that. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Focus on yourself. Only on you. Don't focus on other people. Seeing what they like to make, to try to make them like you. What I'm saying. Okay, so I actually was on online dating. I was rambling about that, but anyways, I want to get to what I think dating is now and stuff. Yeah, I just think that, you know, dating in general doesn't really get good until doesn't really become sincere, I think, a lot of the times, until you're at least in your 20s. Because a lot of the times you're still figuring out what the fuck you really want to do with your life. I mean, at least until you're probably mostly in your 20s. Yeah, there's some relationships, okay, high school sweethearts and stuff like that. But, you know, there's not too many like around like that anymore. I mean, there is some, but not many. And, you know, just, man, you know, in general, you know, stuff just happens. You just have to let it happen. I mean, of course, you know, if you're going to go to school, or your job, or something like that, you know, and you ask a girl and you might like her, you might try to put in some effort, but she's not biting, you know, she's not biting back, talking back, or really getting into you, let it go, bro. There's so many other, you know, women out there. I mean, you know, you'll eventually get one. No, but it takes a while, especially when you're young and don't have much. It isn't really worth it, man. It ain't really worth it, because I hate to say it, man, but a lot of the times you need some money, you know, to have a girlfriend. You need to have your life going okay, at least at a certain, you know, making some money. You're somewhat developed. Yes, that's where it's, you know, you maybe have an apartment, you got a decent car, you're doing okay at your job, making decent money, then that would be okay. But when you're young, man, and you're trying to, you know, work on your career, going to school, maybe you're working at your job, trying to move up in your job, whatever that you're doing, that's great, man, and that's just what you should just focus on. Because I hate to say, you know, I know you want that support, you know, I know you want sex, you know, you want the sexual, I get it, but man, you know, if it's really bothering you that much, bro, just jerk off or go fucking hire an escort. That's all I gotta say. But anyways, I get it. But really, you should be just focused on yourself. But anyways, like I'm saying is that, basically I'm saying is that relationships aren't really worth it until you're at least in your 20s, because most of the time that's when you're more established, and that's when you can, you know, commit both yourselves to a relationship. And then if the relationship is one-sided and the girl isn't really doing nothing to really make the relationship better and to, you know, and to just make things better, and she's just doing nothing, kick that bitch the fuck out of the house. Kick that bitch to the curb. Man, that was me, dude. That's the first thing I would be doing. Don't play around with me. I'm not playing around with any of that shit. So, you know, saying is just, you know, do that. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, like I said, you know, I think online dating it's not impossible, but you rarely ever get matches and you meet up with that person. It doesn't really happen like that. There's just so many people on there, dude. That's another thing, dude. This is so many people, and that's another thing. I mentioned this. I mean, I'm thinking about it a lot, but I'll put you guys on something. Like 20 years ago, I was like early 2000s, things are a little bit different, and I think honestly, I think what social media did was yes, it brought more people together. Like, yeah, you know, it made contact a lot easier. You could text, you know, people from across the country. You know, you could go and do that. You know, you could go and, you know, find out things in common and interests of people, you know, from different countries and farther places away that you didn't know. And not only that, you learn stuff from the internet. You know, so much more information that if we didn't have the internet, we wouldn't know a lot of this stuff. And it's true, but I think what it did, I mean, I don't think about it too much, but I think it's become harder for people to, like, get into a relationship almost, because I feel like some people just feel like they have so many options, and it's kind of fucked up, because that person's like that, and they, like, if there's females like that, and they're talking to a lot of guys through social media and stuff like that, because they met on social media or something, like, she's really awesome. That's just fucked up, and I don't think you should ever take that girl, if she's especially putting you off as a second option. That's fucked up. Do not, because she truly doesn't care about you then, if she's like, like, skeptical, I forgot the word, non-deciding, not inconsiderate, and it's something like that. But if you're skeptical, you know, like, oh, should I think what it is just open a wider variety of people. I mean, I just think it's harder for some people. I don't know, I guess I'm thinking about it too much, maybe, but you guys know what I'm saying, is if it wasn't social media, you'd only really have contact probably with like a couple people, you know, because you have social media. Think about it, you see all these people, you get all these recommended friends on Facebook, you have Twitter, you have all these people posting, you have all these stuff that you could post, and then people will comment on it, like, oh, like, I fucking live in Texas, and all this and that, and I live in fucking Georgia, and I live in fucking China Island, and you can, I mean, meet people, and that's a good thing, but I think it's made it harder for some people to, I think, pick and choose really what. If you think about it, like I said, on social media, you only know the people that is really around you. You would have limited options, but now you have more options because you have social media. What I'm saying is that, like I said, relationships really aren't even relevant until you're in your 20s, and stuff is really going for you. Don't even sweat it. I know it's hard, but even people make fun of you for not having a girlfriend and that, at least you have more money, more time to yourself, to do what the fuck you want, and they're not, basically. Guys, this is me talking about that. What I said is pretty true, so Bly the Truth is out of here. Peace.